I have been guilty when I was younger. I would be like, I'm leaving Pine Bluff. I can't wait to leave Pine Bluff. And look at me now.
That's exactly how it was my senior year.
Because what I was saying, I didn't realize what I really was saying was I want some more opportunities. I want to explore some things. I want to see some things. But you can always go travel. Go travel, learn some stuff, bring it back.
Dr. Angelisa S. Henry is a distinguished leader in economic development and community revitalization in the Arkansas Delta. A proud UAPB alumna, she earned her doctorate from Jackson State University. She currently serves as Executive Director of Pine Bluff Downtown Development, leading strategic initiatives in economic growth, historic preservation, and urban revitalization.
It's just exciting to see where we're going, and I think that when you share things with people that they may not know, like I'm telling you guys about some of the new stuff that's downtown, that you
This weekend.
come downtown. I tell people all the time, meet me downtown. If you ever downtown, just hit me up. I'll say, come on, let's just go look around and show you some different things. Because there is so much going on in our city that people are overlooking because they're getting lost in the sauce.
With a background directing the UAPB Business Support Incubator and the Arkansas Small Business and Technology Development Center, she has empowered hundreds of entrepreneurs across the region. Rooted in her passion for Pine Bluff, Dr. Henry continues to serve as a catalyst for growth, equity, and opportunity throughout the Arkansas Delta.
A lot of people don't realize how much goes into rebuilding downtown. What does it take, and how can Pine Bluff feel modern, fun, and welcoming for the next generation?
You said something, because a lot of people don't know what it takes. We'll get new businesses that will come into our city, and if you just get on Facebook and read the comments, that will let you know that people just don't understand what it takes. Because we may get a new restaurant and people say, well, we need an Olive Garden. Well, if the people from Olive Garden aren't interested into coming into our market, we can't just kidnap the people and come down here and say, give us some breadsticks and salad. We have to give them, we have to make our community look appealing to them and make them want to come here. So that's one of the bigger things, is getting the buy-in of the community to say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to revitalize our downtown area. We're trying to get people to want to bring their businesses here. We want the businesses here to be successful. So, if you know a small business owner, go shop with them. We just got the Magnolia downtown. Go down there and get something to eat sometimes, or go have It's downtown, so you didn't even know.
Oh, I didn't know.
What's up, y'all? I'm A'Kazonna Riddle. I am a Pine Bluff native attending our local HBCU, and this is Rebuilding the Bluff. Today, I'm here with Miss Angelisa Henry. So, Miss Henry, can you tell us a little about yourself?
Of course. Well, first of all, I want to say I'm very excited to have an opportunity to sit down and chat with one of our students from UAPB. I'm always excited to sit and talk to you guys and get to know you guys and see you guys blossoming in your own right. My name is Angelisa Henry. I am currently the Executive Director of Pine Bluff Downtown Development. I am a 2009 graduate of UAPB. I graduated UAPB when I was 10. I was actually older than that. It took me forever, I feel like, to graduate, but I graduated at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff in 2009. So I bleed black and gold. Currently, I'm working on my doctorate at Jackson State University, but I'm a lion first, but I'm also a tiger. So, I'm here back at home in Pine Bluff. I moved around a little bit after graduation, so now I'm doing my thing downtown Pine Bluff.
Okay. Yeah. My first question is, how have your personal experiences shaped the way you approach downtown development in the future of Pine Bluff?
That's a great question. So one of the things that have helped me prepare myself for working downtown Pine Bluff is the fact that I grew up in Jefferson County. So I grew up in Whitehall. So when I'm outside of this area and I tell people where I'm from, they're like, where is Whitehall? So I'm from Pine Bluff. But Pine Bluff people are like, you're not one of us. So, so now I have to say I'm from Jefferson County. But growing up in Jefferson County, right down the street from Pine Bluff, I had a lot of interactions with Pine Bluff. So I have seen the ups and the downs and the stagnant times of Pine Bluff. But no matter where we are, it's been consistent as far as the community. We've always had community. We laughed together, cried together, and now we're building together. Back in the day when I was a younger girl, a little bit younger than I am now, we used to come to the city. I was born in Illinois, and prior to us moving to Arkansas, we would come spend the summers with my grandparents in Star City. So on the weekends, we would come to the city. And when I was a little girl, I felt like Pine Bluff was so big. We would come downtown and my grandfather would get his hair cut. My grandmother would go shop for wigs. You know, we would go get our Sunday's best and stuff for Sunday service. So I've always been a part of Pine Bluff culture. Once I grew up and kind of, we saw the Pines Mall, you know, on the weekends, we used to walk the mall, go to the movies. Nowadays, y'all like, what? You know, because it's just a shell of what it once was. So being able to know where we came from, I have the foresight to see where we can go, because it's exciting to see, you know, the people that still want to thrive and still want to see Pine Bluff be what it used to be. Because back in the day, downtown was the spot. You could go downtown and spend your whole day. So when I was able to get this opportunity to work in this capacity, I was like, oh, this is perfect, because I've always had an opinion of, oh, we should do this, we should do that. And, you know, now I can actually get out there, boots on the ground, even though I'm so proud of that song, boots on the ground, and really get out there and really hear our community and try to help implement some of the things that people want to see of yesteryear and some of the new things that people want to see, like the students that are at UAPB now. I'm sure there are things that you guys wish you could see downtown. So it's really fun for me to do that.
I definitely agree. So my next question will be, which of the Main Street America's points have been the biggest focus for Pine Bluff recently, and how does it help our city's comeback story?
So the biggest thing for me is economic vitality. So for me, it's just kind of helping our small businesses and our entrepreneurs. The heart of our city is to me, our small business owners and people that are local business owners that want to get their own businesses started, or those that have actually started their businesses and they're looking for ways to keep their businesses up and running and sustained. One of the bigger issues a lot of people run into is trying to fund their business. You know, they have great ideas and they want to do these big things. You know, you probably know that from being on campus. You got to have a budget for that kind of stuff. You can't just say, we're going to bring in Sexy Red and you don't got no money. You know, she coming with a price tag. So that's one of the things that I try to help people that are in small business and want to be entrepreneurs, is kind of try to help them come up with their game plan and try to see how it can make sense, make their business make sense. It's hard for me not to think like that, because now I can go anywhere and I'm like, oh, they should do this. Or, you know, they should consider doing that. Or I'm going to call them and see what they think about this. Because I want to see our small businesses grow, and I want to see us be able to have what they call mom and pops everywhere. You know, we want to have somewhere local we can go eat. We want somewhere local where we can go just hang out. And we know that money is going to be coming back to our community. And so that the people that are here running those businesses are not big box retailers, which those are great. Like we have Walmart, we need Walmart. But we also need some people that are here locally that can do some things and that we can support. So that's really a big thing for me.
I can definitely agree with Pine Bluff having a lot of creative people.
Absolutely. I mean,
Very talented.
Like you know, you're a student at UAPB, and, you know, if you didn't have this opportunity, you know, we don't want to miss out on your gifts and the things that you can bring to our community. So it's great that you can collaborate with other small business owners and entrepreneurs to help you shine, you know, because that's making our city look good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another question I have is, a lot of people don't realize how much goes into rebuilding downtown. What does it take, and how can Pine Bluff feel modern, fun, and welcoming for the next generation?
You said something, because a lot of people don't know what it takes. You know, we'll get new businesses that will come into our city, and if you just get on Facebook and read the comments, that will let you know that people just don't understand what it takes. Mm-hmm. Because we may get a new restaurant and people say, well, we need an Olive Garden. Well, if the people from Olive Garden aren't interested into coming into our market, we can't just kidnap the people and come down here and say, give us some breadsticks and salad. You know, we have to give them, we have to make our community look appealing to them and make them want to come here. So that's one of the bigger things, is getting the buy-in of the community to say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to revitalize our downtown area. We're trying to get people to want to bring their businesses here. We want their businesses here to be successful. So, you know, if you know a small business owner, go shop with them. You know, we just got the Magnolia downtown. Go down there and get something to eat sometimes. Or go have a...
Downtown?
It's downtown. So you didn't even know.
Oh, I did not.
Y'all got to do a bus tour.
The one that's on 28th.
See, downtown is right behind the UAPD Business Support Incubator, which is right across the street from the library. You got to get you all the way there. And, you know, they have 4 vendors down there. They have 3 restaurants in there. It's like a food hall where you can just go hang out. They have different activities. You know, on Sunday nights, they do like open mic night and different things like that. But if people are not knowing what's going on or they're not supporting the different efforts, then people will tend to give up and just feel like, well, I'm not going to do that anymore. So we want to support the community. So when people are doing things and having things, I think the biggest thing is to get that buy-in for you to just come out and, you know, see what we're doing. The library is always having stuff. Art space is always having stuff. So just getting tuned in with the different events that are going on in our community so that you can come out and support and encourage other people to support. You know, open mic may not be your thing, but the library may be having something that's appealing to you. I went to a charcuterie making board class one Saturday there. You know, it's just different things going on, but if you're not paying attention, you know, you can look over it and miss out, so.
Getting people to buy into a vision isn't easy. From your experience, what does it really take to get people, partners, and organizations on the same page and excited about rebuilding Pine Bluff?
That is not an easy task at all. And I would honestly say it is not something that is an overnight thing. For some people, you can go talk to them and they're immediately excited and they're down for the cause because they share your vision. Some people don't understand the vision. So you gotta keep showing it to them, put it in their face, teach it. You get it. I mean, you know, on campus when you have events, you probably sometimes you're like, why didn't they come? You know, and sometimes you're like, oh, this was good. We had a good turnout. Or you'll have something and somebody say, oh, I didn't know you were doing that. And you're like, we posted it everywhere. Yeah. So that's hard because you can post it on Facebook. You can do blasts. You can ask people to share. And then it'll be somebody that says, I'm not on Facebook like that. What do you do?
Come if they want to come.
They gonna come if they have
time. Time, really come.
And they're gonna hear about it, right? So all you can do is do your best. You know, you give the best product that you can give, whether it's one person there or 100 people there. And that's something that I have to keep in mind because initially I would feel, a little down if I had something and I put a lot of work into it and it just didn't seem like it landed. You know, people don't show up or, you know, they tell me later on they didn't know what was happening. I'm like, I've done everything but buy a billboard. Like, what else do I need to do? I'm like, Tyrese, what more do you want from me? You know, like I'm trying to get it out there, you know? So you just have to be consistent. When I first took this position, I said, okay, I'm gonna do something every single month, you know, something different. But everything that I do downtown is centered around our downtown businesses. I want people to come out there and see the businesses that we have downtown. I mean, like, did you know we have a coffee shop downtown? See what I'm saying? You know, I want to encourage people to come downtown. And I think one of the things, this is eye-opening for me, is, hey, we're not reaching the campus. And UAPB is a university here in our community. And so we need to be leveraging each other. And so that the things that we have downtown, you all can benefit from those things as well as students. So I think it's very important to make sure that we, no matter the outcome, no matter the people that show up, that you continue to put it in their face. Like, hey, we're here. Like this right here is a great opportunity for me to share what we're doing downtown because a lot of people don't even know. They're like, Pine Bluff downtown development, what is that? You know, the downtown is towed up, when y'all gonna fix the streets? You know, they don't get that there's so much more that goes into that. We have to have funding to do the things and we have to have people that actually show up and show that they care about stuff happening. Because if people don't show that they have a thirst or a hunger for things, new businesses, then people are not gonna come down here and support because people get reports of how many people are coming in your door, how many people are attending these events and things like that. And so if the numbers look low, people are not gonna wanna take the risk of coming into a new market. And it's not just a risk of being Pine Bluff because of different things people hear, but it's just a new market for some people. And you think about businesses that we don't have, they're not here because they are not familiar with our market and they want to come into a place where they know they're going to make money and people are going to support. And so when we have businesses that are already here, we have to show them that we want them here and we appreciate their business.
With my events that I had for sophomore week, since it was my first time like ever throwing the events, the first event, which was the pumpkin painting, I didn't expect as many people to come, so I didn't get as many pumpkins as I should have gotten. But people still came out and they had fun. And then my next event, which was the vision board, it wasn't many people to come. But then the next day was the game night, and it was over 100 people that came, and all my events, everything was out of pocket, over $100. It was just a lot.
See, now you know, right? So now next year, you know what? Get more pumpkins. You know, when you do your vision board, you may not get as many glue sticks or whatever. Yeah, y'all were probably doing them my iPad, weren't you?
No,
Y'all doing
we didn't have many magazines or like newspapers and stuff. It was really hard because, you know, people don't just read newspapers anymore. So
I'm surprised you know what a newspaper is. But you know what I did? I hate to say I'm not crafty. I was gonna say I'm lazy, but I'm not crafty. That's better. And I found out that you can do that on Pinterest. So that's how
download the pictures, get them printed off.
that you can do an actual collage on Pinterest. So that's how I did my vision board this year. So if my stuff don't turn out right, I'm gonna take it old school. I'm gonna go to somebody's beauty shop and find a magazine.
My next question is, how important is marketing, social media, and public perception in changing the narrative of a city? And what message do you want people to hear most clearly?
Another great question. The marketing piece goes back to what I was saying about making sure that people know what's going on, because you have to give people a choice. So like you said, when you had your pumpkin painting, you know, and then you had the vision board and then you had the game night, those three may not be the same target audience, but you may have somebody that loves making vision boards, but they might not like playing games. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that you're getting the information out there so people can know there's different things going on for different people, or if you're looking for something specific. One of the biggest perceptions that I struggle with a lot, because I say this to my friends all the time, if somebody Googled us, what's the first thing that's gonna come up? And I want it to be positive things. You know, I want to see good news. I want to see our UAPB students in the news, our CARC students in the news, new businesses opening, old businesses moving to bigger buildings, expanding, concerts coming to Pine Bluff, me winning $100,000 at the casino, stuff like that. I want to see good news because people that don't live here, if you say, oh, I'm from Pine Bluff, or I'm going to school in Pine Bluff, they're going to Google Pine Bluff. And it's so important for us to have a great reputation online. Just like with you students, when you graduate, you want somebody to be able to Google you if you put in a job application and they see good things about you. Even though you may have a good time and you may have some conflicts and things like that, you don't want that to be the main thing online. So I love that we have different individuals and different organizations pushing that positive narrative about our city, because there's so many great things about our community that are going on, that are happening here. We have some good people coming out of the city of Pine Bluff. I'm proud to have 870 as my area code. I don't care where I've been. I have not changed my phone number, because when they see that 870, they know I'm standing on business. Okay, I'm not there to play. You know, I'm very proud to say I came from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, the flagship of what? The Delta. Get into it. So I'm happy and proud to say that. And so when people try to come from my city, no, we're not doing that. Because I think that when you engage with negativity online, that's the stuff that people hold on to. And so I think it's important that, you know, we post cool stuff, fun stuff that we're doing, so that we can let that kind of stuff take over the narrative of online. So no matter what, I try to remain professional. I try to remain positive. Because this is my home, you know, and I don't want to have a negative perception of where I live, where I work, where I play, you know. I want people to understand, you know, come to Pine Bluff, I can show you a good time, you know. So I think it's very important that we promote positivity. When I see stuff online, it's positive, I'm sharing it. I don't care if I don't even know who you are. I'm happy to share it. I'm excited, you know, because I think that that's the stuff that people need to see more of, because it's easy to share negativity and it's easy to talk bad. It's hard to just take the high road, you know. And I think that's something that we all should just be intentional about, is sharing positive things about our city. You know, I went walking to Simmons one day and I was like, hey, this is a nice little walk. I'm at home, I'm looking around, the weather nice, you know, the new streetscape looking good downtown, you know. So I was excited to take some pictures and, you know, I say I'm a vlog, but I got so much stuff on the memory card that I hadn't released. I act like Beyonce with the visuals. But it's just exciting to see where we're going. And I think that when you share things with people that they may not know, like I'm telling you guys about some of the new stuff that's downtown. That you
there this weekend.
Come downtown. I tell people all the time, meet me downtown. You know, if you ever downtown, just hit me up. I'll say, come on, let's just go look around and show you some different things. Because there is so much going on in our city that people are overlooking because they're getting lost in the sauce. You know, and so it's like, just come on over here. I'll show you some good stuff. So what do you want to see downtown? What are some of the things that you feel like are missing in Pine Bluff that you've seen in other areas?
I feel like they could, rebuild the mall or start small and then build up. It doesn't have to be the whole mall. Another store, like more clothing stores, more shoe stores. We don't really have many like shoe store options. Restaurants, like sit down restaurants, not fast food. We have enough of those. We have plenty of McDonald's and Popeyes.
So what's your favorite restaurant?
I like Wingstop here and there.
Okay, so what's your favorite restaurant in Pine Bluff?
Wingstop.
So what do you like about Wingstop?
The wings.
You can get wings anyway.
But like,
is it the lemon pepper sauce?
I like hot honey rub.
Okay.
Flats.
I'm with you with the all flats now.
Cajun corn.
The corn is good.
With a peach Fanta on the side.
Okay.
Now I used to like love Chef Lee's, but like I can't just eat Chinese foods for a long time.
Okay. So what made you want to go to UAPB?
First, UAPB wasn't my first option.
Okay.
I was originally going to go to Southern, but I kind of chickened out.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I'll do a year at UAPB, see how it is. I was still thinking about transferring, but then at the same time, I was like, it's not even as bad as people made it seem, because like high school, people was like, oh, I don't want to stay in Pine Bluff. I don't want to go to UAPB. But UAPB is what you make it actually. It's not that bad. My freshman year, I wasn't really like involved on campus. Like I was just living freshman year. Then my sophomore year came and I was like, hey, I should get involved. Now, I wasn't originally going to run for class president. I was going to run for vice, but we already had a vice. So I was like, why not run for class president?
And look at you now. Madam President.
Thank you.
And that's one thing, getting involved. Just getting involved in the community can really change your experiences. It can change your perception. You already go to Wingstop. So you probably go to Wingstop, probably go to Walmart.
Every now and then. Just went to Walmart, actually.
Right, but y'all don't ever come downtown, huh? You say, what is there going on?
But I heard about a restaurant in the bank, I think.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember one time my teacher, this was in high school, she had some cookies from the bank. I was like, I need to go get some cookies.
Yes. Simmons has a restaurant inside their building. And so let me tell you, it's cheap to go over there and grab something. Like a real breakfast is like $7 over there. And that's cheap. Now, $7 for breakfast. I was like, I come over here, eat a couple of days, have a week.
How long do they breakfast last?
I think they open at 9. And I think their breakfast goes about 10:30, 11.
I do be missing the campus breakfast.
The campus breakfast is pretty good. But if you're ever if the cafeteria is closed and y'all just out and about or something, they have good breakfast over there, so don't sleep on them. We have Rice's. Have you been to Rice's?
Let me tell you about Rice's.
You over there and eat?
That's actually my favorite restaurant. I forgot about Rice's.
That's locally owned. That's a locally owned business.
I love a good make your own plate or eating a buffet.
Okay, so you like that? Have you been to Gratterfield? If you like that kind of buffet style, Gratterfield Airport. They have great food too. And it's a kind of one of those same type of situations. You don't fix your own food, but you can go in there and pick what size you want, what meats you want. Like I said, we got some restaurants downtown. We got underwater seafood. You like seafood? See?
You tried their egg rolls?
Yes. You got to talk about these local restaurants, these local businesses, because that's what we need, right? We got to encourage them. Let's talk about these people out here that's people that you can go to church with. They make own businesses. Yeah. So we have a lot of this. Y'all got to come downtown. One day we're going to do a field trip. Y'all come downtown and we're going to check it out. Okay. Bring some real money though, not the little UAPB card. Yeah, what's it called? Flex cards? Yeah, bring some real money. But we have a good time. And you know what? I said bring some money, but there are a lot of free activities that take place downtown. And if you are looking for things to volunteer, ways to volunteer, there are a lot of opportunities downtown, and you can learn something while you're there volunteering. Because I have, I'm downtown. I always need somebody to come over there and help me with something, anything. Because it takes a community, and I want to hear, I play all the time, but I'm really out of touch because I feel like I'm young still. And people see me and they're like, yes, ma'am. I'm like, yes, ma'am. But I guess I'm grown now, huh? So I guess I need to tap in and see what y'all are talking about, what you guys are doing. So I can say, help, I ain't trying to be old. And y'all looking at me like, y'all don't want to talk around me and stuff. I want the tea too. I think that, you really have to get outside and explore. You really have to explore Pine Bluff. It's easy to get in your own little circles and stay on campus and just kind of stay over there and do stuff on the yard, which you should be safe. Don't decide at 2 o'clock in the morning you want to just go riding.
Yep.
No. Make sure,
Yeah.
be safe, be vigilant, be smart, Make sure you put your studies first. Then you come outside a little bit and see what's going on in the city because Pine Bluff is a city. I have been guilty when I was younger. I would be like, I'm leaving Pine Bluff. I can't wait to leave Pine Bluff. And look at me now.
That's exactly how I was my senior year.
Because what I was saying, I didn't realize what I really was saying was I want some more opportunities. I want to explore some things. I want to see some things. But you can always go travel. Go travel, learn some stuff, bring it back. That's why I enjoy going to conferences and things like that because it gives me an opportunity to get away for a little bit, see what other people are doing, how they're doing things, and then I can bring it back to my city and try to use some of their things. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. There are people that are in the same type of community as far as demographics. So, same population, same type of job markets and things like that. They may have a university as well and they're doing things different. So I like to see what other people are doing so I can kind of see how we can implement that downtown or in our city, period. I talk about downtown a lot because that's what my job is, Pine Bluff Downtown Development. But I really, really have a passion for helping people and, helping our small business owners and entrepreneurs. I don't care where they are. If they come to me, I'm happy to help you. If I come to your business and I see you need some help, I'm like undercover boss. I'm like, bar rescue, let me help you. That's one of the messages too that I would like to get out is that don't be above people helping you. Because my intent is always pure. My intent is always good. They don't have to worry about me being competition because I'm not about to go open a restaurant. I'm not about to start doing no hair. I'm not your competition. I want to help. And I want to help because I want to see our city thrive and flourish. I want people to feel like I feel when I say I'm from down here. I want people to stick their chest out, and be proud to say, I'm from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I'm from Whitehall. I'm from Chapel. I'm from Ballaway. Sulphur Springs is their own community now. I'm from Sulphur Springs. Whatever your city community is, you in Jefferson County. Be proud to be from here. I was having a conversation with one of my friends from another city, and they were just amazed that we have a Black mayor, we have a Black judge, we have a Black sheriff. All the major people. We have Black bankers here and things that's just unheard of in some places. We have Black principals and teachers and, the list goes on and on. It makes me so proud to see, you think about Black history and the fight that our ancestors had just to do stuff that we just don't even think twice about doing now. Just having the freedom to do those things. We need to be using our free will for good because we have so many great people here in the city. People come to us and say like, well, you got all these people in position that look like us. What? And sometimes we just take it for granted that, that's just what it is because it's Pine Bluff. But like people envy that. You think about, economics, talk about Black Wall Street. That was its own Black community. You think about history, you come downtown, you could talk to Jimmy Cunningham and he can tell you some things that have happened in Pine Bluff. We've had some greats come to Pine Bluff and do concerts here and things like that. So, you just have to educate yourself and know so that you can tell those stories. And that's one of the things I talk about with Mr. Cunningham is we got to get these stories out because there's so much information that we need to share about our city. And people get hung up on the crazy stuff because that's easy. But let's talk about the cool stuff, the good stuff. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke at UAPB. What? That's big time. So it's just things like that we sometimes don't even think about because it's always been. But like, that's big stuff. We need to be bragging about our city. We brag different. We from people down here, We need to be walking around and letting people know who we are and not be embarrassed and talk low when we talking about our city. No, I went to UAPB and what? Put me against anybody. I'm standing tall, You came in here suited and booted, who coming like that?
Nobody.
Okay then. So let's clock it. Ain't that what they say? Okay. They teach us different at UAPB. They give us different experiences and they're proud of us and they mold us and grow us. And that's why I'm always, anytime Miss Cherry or anybody at UAPB asks me, hey, can you come speak on a panel or can you come be a judge? Whatever they ask me to do, I'm coming because UAPB was great to me. And I want to give back to UAPB because UAPB is who I am.
One thing I can say that I miss Palm Bluff having is the block parties. Like that was I think the last block party we had was probably my 11th grade year, 10th grade year. I don't know, but I liked like when we used to have food trucks and the people performing and stuff like that. That's something I feel like they should bring back.
And see, you sleep.
Honestly,
Because Juneteenth,
like we
we have Juneteenth, the biggest Juneteenth now. Like we have food trucks, artists performing. I mean, it's a good time. People, all types of people are outside, downtown, outside having a ball. So you're going to come this year now. See, you've been missing out. I think this will be the 3rd year for our
I
Juneteenth.
remember I went like 2022.
Okay, so that was the 1st year. So yeah, so we got Juneteenth. We're trying to do more things downtown though. Like for homecoming, I tried to do like a little block party type deal. It was smaller, because we got to grow to get bigger. But you have people, like I said, you show up, then I say, oh, okay, they want something. Let me do a little bit more, So we try to do little things, but as you see stuff, you got to come out, support, and tell other people. Because you'll be surprised. You'll have a good time.
For residents, alumni, business owners, or young people who want to be a part of Palm Bluff's growth, what are some practical ways they can get involved and keep the city vibrant and moving forward?
One of the big things that they can do is share. Share the things that are going on. Even if you graduated from UAPB and now you live in Canada, you still gonna see stuff going on because you following UAPB's page. Share it. Even if you don't know the person, you see positivity, share it. Put it on people's timeline because you never know who will see it. Your friends will see something that somebody else posted, that they reposted, that'll keep that going. I think the people that live locally support. Go over to the Magnolia Market and buy something over there. Kylan's Kitchen got wings. Support a small business. Support our small businesses. Support our entrepreneurs. If you need somebody or talk to somebody and they say, I want to start a business, send them my way. I will sit down and talk to them and help clear the noise in their head because sometimes you have a good idea, but you don't know where to start. You don't know what to do. And I don't care if you're downtown. I don't care if you live in Mayflower. I don't care where you are. I'm happy to help you because I know that, having your own business is a dream for some people. Like everybody's not built for a 9-to-5. Some people are built to throw awesome events. Some people are built to go to work all day, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just what you want, right? So if your dream is to have your own beauty salon or your own hair store or your own makeup line or whatever it is, like I want to help you do whatever it takes to get to that next level.
We have a lot of talented hairstylists here, but they don't have anywhere to do hair. People are probably tired of having all these different people coming in and out their house. So I feel like we should have like a big suite, and there is a suite on Olive. Her name is Angel. It's a lot of it's space in there, but it's not enough space for everyone. I feel like that would be good.
So you are definitely on par because Pop's Barbershop is a historic barbershop here in Pine Bluff. And he actually just expanded and bought a bigger building where he does have suites in there. So you're right on par with what our needs are here in Pine Bluff. And so now you can, if you're a beautician or a barber, you can rent out space in his facility for that. But to your point, a lot of times people are doing hair at home and stuff like that because of the overhead. And that's something that I was talking about as far as budgeting. Because when you think about getting your own building, you got to think about everything that comes with it, right? You go into a building that's been empty for 10 years. You probably have water leaks. You might have to get your floors redone. So you have to think about all of that stuff when you think about your startup costs. We have a lot of things that are within the city that could assist you with different things like that. But you just have to, again, be locked in and know what's going on and know who to talk to and know what to look for and what to ask for. But you just have to think about your startup costs and electricity, utilities, and water and all of those things. And so that's not just an easy thing for people to just hop off the porch and just go open their own place, right? But like you said, if they could go somewhere and rent a suite until they, kind of like an incubation type deal, where they can open a suite and then they can work out the suite until they have their funds together where they can go into a larger place. And so that's one of the things that I work with when it comes to economic vitality is the businesses that are already here and that are operating and working, finding ways for them to help them grow. Because a lot of times people will kind of, you may have heard somebody say, well, I'm gonna buy my first home, it's gonna be my startup home. And that means they just want to buy something for now. And as they can get their funds together or buy a bigger home or even build or whatever the case may be, when you think about business owners, it's the same thing because everybody starts off, unless you've been gifted a whole bunch of money, more than likely you're going to start off, maybe getting a loan from the bank, or you may use some of your savings to go open your own place. And so it's just, people have different situations, but I don't want people to feel like it's hopeless or to feel helpless. Because if your dream is to go in your own salon, then that's something that you should be able to do. We have a lot of real estate here in Pine Bluff, and the cost of living here is generally cheap. So it's like a gold mine to be here in Pine Bluff. But I think that sometimes people miss those low-hanging fruit because they just looking past it. And sometimes they don't know where to go. They don't know who to talk to and get the information. So sometimes people reach out to me and I can help them get connected with different people. You may contact me, but you really may need to be talking to zoning with the city. So let me give you their contact information so you can talk to them. So it's really about, and we're actually working on a workbook of sorts to help people, kind of help guide them with their process. Because if you don't know me or seen me or heard of me, then where do you go? So we kind of want to help make that process easier so that our businesses here and our entrepreneurs here locally can have an easier way to navigate their whole process.
My hairstylist, she started doing my hair in, I think my senior year.
Okay.
I'm a sophomore now. So it started as her always coming to my house and doing hair provided, I believe. Now she has a suite in the shop that I was just talking about.
See, there you go.
And her clientele went up and stuff like that.
And you're a walking billboard because your hair is what? Laid. So, who wouldn't go let lace wear? Who wouldn't go to her? Lay their hair down. So, I
feel like everything just takes time. Like you can't rush the process.
You can't rush the process. You cannot rush the process. And I am guilty myself of trusting the process. And my mom's always like, just be patient. I'm like, girl, I ain't got time for that. I gotta get everything done right now. Tomorrow's not promised, But sometimes you have to just relax, and then you will look up one day and you're exactly where you want to be, or where you never thought you'd be. Like you said, you didn't think you'd be president. You weren't thinking about that. You didn't even think you were gonna be a lion. Now look at you with the pen on and everything. You repped out, girl. But we're proud of you. You are a great representation of our university.
Thank you.
When you walked in and you had that suit on, I said, I know she's been over there in Office Career Services. Because I know what they can do and I know what their expectations are. And, when y'all go to the games and y'all walking around, football games, y'all together, nobody's out there looking shabby and looking, like they throw it away, because you all know the expectation that we have. As a person that graduated from UAPB, I love to see the students coming out looking like they supposed to look, It's like, okay, we watching, and so just like you see me. If I would have came in here looking crazy, you'd have been like, what's going on? But, I said, I know I'm finna sit down with something great. I gotta bring it up, put my red lipstick on, So it's really, we're all walking billboards, because like you asked me, tell me about yourself. So you wanna know what's my affiliation? When I was learning about you, I was like, okay, I'm excited to see her, It's natural for people to try to connect the dots. Oh, you went to UAPB? My mama went to UAPB, or you from Pine Bluff, my cousin from Pine Bluff, and you want to be a great representation. And it's just like we were talking about social media, you share, but it's nothing like the real thing. It's nothing like that face-to-face interaction. You can get online and Google UAPB all day, but it's nothing like being on the yard and get that experience. Don't walk under the bell tower. Nobody would understand that, but us going over there and going to one of the events that you plan. This feeling is different. We're different. You want people to want to be a part of us, a part of the pride, and that's one of the things that I love to see is the students still being prideful and our community being prideful. And I think that that's something that we also strive to do is, again, sharing that crazy stuff. Did that, let's share some positive stuff. I saw some stuff about some of the UAPB students interns that was on the news. Share it. Anything you see positive, share it. Whether you know the people or care to know the people or anything. If it's positive about our city, let's get the word out there. So when we talk about the students and the community and them not being completely aligned, what are some things that we can do as a community to entice the students to be more involved and to get their attention of the things that are going on?
Okay, so Of course, our generation is all about social media, mainly Instagram and TikTok. So I feel like posting on either of those apps or even having like flyers hanging around like campus and stuff like that, I feel like that'll like catch an eye and just have them want to come out because people be saying they don't have nothing to do, they want to do stuff. So if you see some event or something you want to go, they go flyer right there. You want to
Okay.
have fun.
Well, let me ask you this. What have you learned today about downtown?
That I didn't know we had no breakfast spot, and I'll be missing breakfast. And breakfast is a very important.
It is an important meal of the day. It is.
And also the coffee shop. And I didn't know about the other Mongolian.
Magnolia.
Magnolia?
Magnolia.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that. I only knew about 28th. Yeah.
Okay, so see, next time, don't bypass downtown. Come through that. What y'all do? Get on the freeway?
Yes.
See, drive through the city so you can see what's going on. Something might catch your eye. You might see something. So definitely come through the city, come downtown. And we're going to have to set up some time so you can come down to my office and we'll walk around and I'll show you some stuff and we'll have a good time. Yeah, for sure. But I'm very excited to see you guys carrying the torch and seeing you guys like having the experiences for the first time with fresh eyes is very, very encouraging for me. And so I look forward to you guys giving your input on some of the stuff that's going on downtown and seeing what you think. Because, like I said, I see it every day. I go to work and I'm walking, I'm like, it's autopilot. I walk in my office, get my coffee, sit down, check my email, But sometimes, like I said, I have to go outside and just walk around and just take it in. Like, wow, this is what people are experiencing. You don't have to travel to always get an experience. And I know that sometimes I'm one of those who I'm always looking for an experience. And so, yeah, traveling is great. Like I said, you can learn a lot from other people when you travel and see things and try new foods and all of that. But sometimes you got to do a staycation and just taking what we have here in our city, go to a play downtown. And they have some really good actors that are in there from the local community. You going to that is supporting someone else because there are children that are a part of those plays in our community. And so you going out there is supporting their craft and supporting their art. And you never know what you might go in there one day and say, you know what, I might want to try out
Be the next place.
Exactly. So you just don't take for granted the fact that we're just in Pine Bluff. We have some really state-of-the-art, really nice things and some really talented people that are here, and they have committed their lives to being here and to making this a great place to live, work, and play. And I'm one of those people that I'm committed to. While my time is here, I may marry a millionaire tomorrow, and he may whisk me off, and I may live on a yacht for the rest of my life. But while I'm out there, I'm gonna be checking on Pine Bluff and see what y'all doing over here, and I will know that I gave my all while I was in Pine Bluff. Now I can relax on my yacht with my rich husband. While I'm here, every day I wake up, and sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and think, what can we do? What can we do to be outside the box? What can we do to make Pine Bluff better? What can we do to bring back some of those great moments and great things of yesteryear? My parents, my dad bought my mom's engagement ring downtown. Like I said, there's so many memories that are downtown. And sometimes I just ask people about their favorite memory of downtown Pine Bluff. And depending on their age, they may have a different memory because some people, their things have changed. Different places have come and different places have gone, but the memories are still in their minds. And so they get it. They just smile because they think about the different things. Like I told you about my grandparents, just coming up here with them was just like, I felt like Pine Bluff was Atlanta, like, oh, we going to town. My grandma going to Hancock's to buy, pattern and fabric so she can go make us some little two pieces because I thought I was hidden back then. But, just those things are the memories that keep us going because people always like to talk about memories because those are happy times, so we want to bring some of those memories back. I know the big thing this year was, why weren't there any lights downtown? Christmas lights. Because
I thought they had, no, not downtown. It was
the lake. Well, back in the day, they used to ride downtown and they had the lights on the poles and different things. But it's a different time. Economy is different. So I'll be reaching out to different people and asking them, would you like to sponsor a light pole? Since they were so concerned, because it's easy to talk, but let's do something, So I'm gonna come up with the plan and I'm gonna need their buy-in so that we can bring the lights back downtown if that's what the people want. And people talk about a lot of things. I hear them. And I try to look at ways to implement those things and do the best that I can, because if they say, they want lights downtown, let's get some lights downtown for the holidays. I'm gonna do my part to try to make that happen. Now I can't make promises because everybody might say, we don't care for real, and then I'm like, oh, okay, but I heard them, I read it, and I want to see what we can do, because if that's something that makes people feel good, I want to be a part of that and bring that back to them if that's something that they want. So, you have to be able to listen and hear what people want. Just like when you had your events, they may not have said it, but you saw it, what they want. I don't know if you sent out a survey or something afterwards.
I did a voting thing for either a movie night or a talent show.
Mm-hmm.
And majority of the people picked the movie night. Then I did a poll of like scary, horror, comedy.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. So you can get what people want. And if they chose not to take the survey, then they need to put it on mute then, because you gave them an opportunity to tell, to give their input. And so that's all you can do, is give people an opportunity so they can feel like they're being heard. And you can't always make everybody happy, but you can hear them. I can listen to you all day. They may come over there and say they want to put a statue of themselves in front of on Main Street. And I'd be like, wow, I hear you, but we ain't doing that. But, but I hear you, because sometimes people just want to feel heard. They want you to hear them. And so sometimes I feel like I should have majored in psychology, because I do a lot of listening. I'm like, dang, I was in the wrong major. I was a business major. But, when I went to UAPB, I would have never thought that this is where I would have been, and I used to say, I'm going to be, working in this big city, with this huge office overlooking this beautiful skyline. And, sometimes I look out my window, I'm like, it's not a big city, but it feels big, because it's still, I'm blessed to be able to give back to my community. And I'm blessed to have a job, for one, but I enjoy what I do. And like I said, just looking out my window, I've seen the whole progression of the streetscape, from where they started to when they had the streets toe up out there to now it's just beautiful, And so just being able to witness that progression. And I remember when the Magnolia was just a storage facility, and now you can come in there and eat, and they have, live events, and you can go watch the game, and, I can walk over there on my lunch and get something to eat, that's progression. One of the slogans for Pine Bluff used to be City of Progress. And we are, whether people want to give us our 10s or not, we win it, we win it. So I'm very, very blessed and very happy to be a part of history in the making.
Could you let us know where people can connect with you and find you?
You can find us at Pine Bluff Downtown on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. And then if you want to send me an email at any time, it's hello@pbdowntown.org. And it's easy. hello@pbdowntown.org. You can shoot me an email. I try to respond to my emails, even if I have to say, let me check on that. I try to be as responsive as I can. If I don't respond, that means I didn't get it. But I am a very responsive person. So you can find us on social media, follow us on social media. You can see some of our things that we have going on. If you send me an email, I'll add you to our mailing list so you can get a direct email of things that we have going on. But I'm trying to do my part and put it in their face, because you can't deny it when it's right in your face.
2 takeaways that you can get from this podcast is to never live off someone else's experience, and be sure to explore your city, because you never know the new things that they have. Make sure you go check out downtown Pine Bluff and go to Magnolia Market. Again, I am A'Kazonna, and this is Rebuilding the Bluff. See you guys next time.